Today we're going to look at Native American empires in Central and South America. These are empires that existed before the arrival of Europeans. The three main empires we're going to look at are Aztec, Mayan, and the Incan empires. First, let's look at the Aztec Empire. The Aztec people began as nomadic people, hunters and gatherers known as Mexica. They lived in the harsh desert of northern Mexico and traveled to find a land that could sustain their life. They found a place on Lake Texcoco where they founded their city. And as you see here on the right, they had to build these floating gardens in order to support themselves. But they'll rapidly grow in strength and numbers and eventually reach a core population of 5 to 6 million people. As they grew, they had to have a government that supported their growth. So they broke down the empire into provinces or states. They did continue to conquer people, but what's unique about them is they allowed the conquered people to govern themselves as long as they paid their taxes. If they did not pay their taxes, the people would be captured or slaughtered. And when they were captured, they were probably enslaved. This leads to the social breakdown of the Aztec Empire. There was strict roles in society. There was a caste system, which makes different classes in society. At the top, there were the nobles, and at the bottom were the serfs. They did have indentured servants and slaves. They did have a strong economy due to their markets and trade. At some points, there could be 50,000 people at the market, and this really drove the Aztec economy. Culturally, their culture revolved around their religion. They believed in nature gods, similar to a lot of other Mesoamerican religions. What's somewhat unique to the Aztec and to the Mayan is they did use human sacrifices. Because religion was such a key part in their society, we see the architecture resemble that. So we see a lot of temples, palaces, and statues. Their religion also did lead to an advanced calendar. They also had a lot of other advanced aspects of their civilization: clothing, jewelry, those floating gardens I talked about, bridges, canals, pretty advanced. The next group we're going to look at are the Inca. The Inca people were located in the Andes Mountains. They began to expand in 1438 by conquering other local civilizations. Unlike the Aztec, the Incan people made their conquered people assimilate to their way. They did not allow for self-rule. The Incan society did reach a point that there were 16 million people in their empire. They had extensive trade routes and also great architectural feats located in the city centers, mostly focusing on religion. Politically, they believed that their ruler was a descendant of the sun god, so that he had some divine right. They did have a powerful military, but often tried to use diplomatic methods before conquering through warfare. The Incan government, this is probably the most unique part about the Incan people. Their government had total control over the economy and the social life of its people. This means they regulated who grew what, the production, and who got what, the distribution. And how you earn what you got is through this social system of community cooperation. This means you had to do community service, community work, like building roads, canals, or bridges. And you would kind of get ranked on your input to the society, and the government would give you what you earned. This is what historians see as an early type of socialism or communism. Here are some other similarities and differences between the two empires. Next, we're going to look at the Mayans. They were located in southern Mexico, northern Central America. They too had great architectural feats, pyramids, temples, and palaces that was a result of their religion. They were very successful farmers, and they also had social structure because their success as farming led to the accumulation of wealth because of the surplus of goods. The Mayan people were similar to the Inca and to the Aztec, but different in one way. They were made up of many independent city-states. So these independent city-states each had their own god king, and they were linked through alliances and trade. So not necessarily one total ruler, but a lot of local rulers. Similar culture to many Mesoamericans, they believed in gods of nature, god of corn, rain, death, and war, and gave offerings, human sacrifices, to these gods. Their religion played such a huge part in their society, that we do see technology result from it. We see the use of calendar, mathematics, and astronomy that were used to calculate their religion, but also turned into use of other aspects of society. They have a very mysterious decline. Talk about relationship with the environment. Historians guess that the population became too much and they damaged the environment. They overused the soil, which led to shortage of food, famine, disease, and someone else came in and conquered them. Thanks. Bye.